Imagine this. You currently are holding a jar, and inside it are tiny grains of sand, and every grain represents a second of your life. Now, picture yourself just deliberately spilling that jar over and letting every grain of sand spill on the ground. That's what most people these days are doing with their time. They just let it slip away on things that don't even matter, that don't even benefit them. God has given you a purpose, a reason, and a mission in which why you're here at this moment. But if you keep spending your time on distractions and chasing things that don't make you happy, you might wake up one day and realize, man, I just ran out of sand. That sucks. So I just want to make this message urgent. God is telling you to stop wasting your time. And I want to break down a few verses that prove my point to you today as you're watching this. Think about it this way. If God decided to give you $86,400 every single day, but then you decide to just throw it away and spend it on useless things instead of being fruitful with it and invest it, wouldn't that be insane? Well, God actually gives you 86,400 seconds every day, and a lot of people are just wasting them on mundane affairs, things that just will never serve you but just make you feel good at the moment when it costs you so much in the long run. You understand? I'll give you a verse in the book of Ephesians. Ephesians 5:15 to 16 says, and I'm going to read this to you. Be very careful then how you live, not as unwise but as wise, making the most of every opportunity because the days are evil. This verse is literally a wake-up call. You don't have forever to get serious about your purpose, and you don't have forever to start walking in obedience to His will. Every second you waste is literally time that you're never going to get back. Ever. God did not put you here on earth to binge watch endlessly your favorite TV show, like Friends, for example. I know a lot of women, they still love Friends, and they still think it feels good to watch Friends when the actors don't even know who you are, and yet you're giving your time to them. How does that make any sense? My guy, my women, come on, man. You're not here to spend years chasing after things that don't matter when it comes to living in the eternity. You know? He puts you here on earth for something greater. And one day, believe it or not, you're going to stand before Him and you're going to give an account for how you spent your time, the time that He gave you on earth in the first place. So ask yourself, if today was the last day of your life, would you be proud of how you spent it? Or would you start having this feeling of conviction in your heart? That's the difference between knowing how to use time wisely and how you know you haven't. And the main thing about wasting time, the main culprit, I would say, are distractions. Distractions are literally the biggest weapon that the enemy uses to prevent people from walking in their God-given purpose. There's a verse in Luke 9:62 says, no one who puts his hand to the plow and looks back is fit for the kingdom of God. So Jesus was saying, once you start following Him, you can't keep looking back on the things that slowed you down. And some of you feel like you're slow in life, but the truth is that you're distracted, or you choose to put your time in things that may seem harmless but are really distractions in disguise. You say you don't have time to pray, but you spend hours on your phone. You say you're waiting for God's direction, but you're filling your life with noise instead of listening. You want to grow spiritually, but you keep going back to the same things that drained you. Don't expect God to move in your life if you're constantly looking at everything except for Him. It's like trying to drive a car forward, but you're staring at the rear view mirror all the time, and you don't expect to crash. I mean, you need to look at all angles of your life. Whenever there's a distraction that comes in, you don't focus your eyes on one thing but yet ignore the others. You got to go 360. You got to go all around you. You got to overanalyze yourself and realize, okay, what needs to be fixed so that I can get closer to Him. And if you keep wasting your time, you're going to keep missing out on everything that God wanted you to do right now. And that is not just a small loss. It's not like losing 20 bucks on the streets. That's going to cost you everything. So let's keep it real. What are you going to do with the time that you have left right now? Because you don't get a second life to try again. You don't get to hit the reset button. There is no time machine that exists yet. You are here right now in the present moment, sometimes having to look back on your past and thinking that, man, I could have done so much better. When you still have the future to think about because you still have time to do things better before your time here on earth passes away. The clock is ticking and God is calling you to move now. The book of Ephesians tells you to make the most of every moment. The book of Luke warns you to just not keep looking back. This is literally your wake-up call. Stop letting time just slip through your fingers and stop wasting your life on things that don't matter like a degenerate. Man, you gotta focus on seeking God and making sure that every second counts with Him, no matter what. So if this hit you, and if this told you, man, I gotta wake up, drop a comment below and let me know. What's one thing you know that you need to just stop wasting time on? Let's talk about it. I love you. You stay blessed and let Him take care of your spirit. Ciao.